lisaanntarot. So this is my energy report for the week. It's an energy report and a reading. So this is going to seem a little awkward for me. Normally I do it all my lives with my phone, and now I'm recording it on camera. You have a wider angle of my room with all my mess. So welcome to my world. I wanted to try to figure out a way to capture the energy report that I give and the readings that I give. Anybody can Google what's going on in the cosmos, right? Anybody can Google what's in retrograde right now and what this new moon means, what this full moon means, and all that. And I like to think that I bring my own intuitive take on it, as well as some messages from Spirit to go along with that. And that's part of what I do on my live Facebook on Sunday, Coffee and Tarot. So if you're not following me on Facebook, get over there and do it. So anyway, I wanted to try to capture it so that I could put it up here on YouTube, that I could get it out to more people. So we're going to give this a shot, okay? So welcome. I am Lisa Ann from Lisa Ann Tarot, and this is my energy report for the week. We are amping up for what we can call retrograde palooza this summer. Throughout the summer, we're going to have 7 planets going to retrograde. We just followed a super full moon the last week. Energies were intense. I know it knocked me on my rear end, and I had to control my energy for myself, and was not able to give my energy on my live, so I had to cancel it. But yeah, it was intense. It brought up a lot of healing. It brought up a lot of things, a lot of insecurities, a lot of things to really consider. And that's what that whole release is, right? And we're going to continue along that vein for this week. The theme for this week is release, release, release. We're in the last quarter of the moon. It's going to give us that last kind of squeeze of release. Anything that we need to get out, it's going to be shaken out of us, right? As we gear up for the new moon in Cancer on the 17th. So get it all out now, right? Anything that's coming up right now for you to consider. We need to witness what comes up, accept it, and then let it go. We are not sitting with these emotions. We're not allowing it to drag us down into a low vibration. We're not kind of holding on to things that are really being removed because they don't serve us anymore. And all they are is keeping us in a low vibration. So we know that, if we're trying to attract, if we're trying to manifest, we have to vibrate on the same level of the stuff that we're asking for. And in order to do that, we have to release past traumas, past heartbreaks, old ways of thinking, things no longer serve us. So any emotion that comes up for you, any trauma, any memory, unpack it. And anything that just doesn't resonate with you anymore, get rid of it. So I want to take a time right now to talk about resonate. When we always say, take what resonates, leave the rest, right? That goes along with our ability to discern. Discernment is a function of our intuition. And if we're learning to tap into our intuition and to trust our inner guidance and to trust ourselves, that practice of discernment is very important. So like I said, anybody can Google what's happening in the cosmos and give an energy report. Anybody can look at someone else's post, listen to someone else's live and be like, hey, I can do that too. That's great. They can regurgitate, what 500 people have already posted in a day. But it's all in your discernment and what you feel resonates with you and what does not. Do not feel obligated to take what's being said by anyone you follow. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, right? We are just giving out there our take on it. Some of us use our gifts of knowing. Some of us use spirit. We channel. If I do this energy report on my live, it could be a totally different message. It depends on how I'm channeling, who I'm channeling, and what comes out of my mouth. And if you follow me, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So practicing that discernment. Where does what somebody's telling you resonate with you? Do not change how you do things and how you think and how you function based on what somebody tells you, unless it really moves your spirit. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your heart space. You'll feel it like, yeah, you know what, they're right. Like, this is something I need to act on. This is something I need to change. Don't just blindly go with the flow and be like, hey, this person, is spitting truths. But are they really? Does it really resonate with you? Is it really something that hits your heart, right? And you may not resonate with me at all times either. So it's all in, we all follow those tarot readers. Through my journey, I've followed several tarot readers. Sometimes I'm right in there with them. Sometimes, it's like, no, you took a turn that I'm not taking with you. And that's all following your intuition and your discernment. So that's empowering yourself, right? When we change what we're doing based on what someone else tells us, it's giving away our power. And that's diminishing our vibration. And that's opening us up to a lot of bad stuff. So taking back your power and holding on to that, keeping that sacred, keeping your energy sacred, and who you allow in and what you do is very important. So with that being said, and what for this week, we're going to accept things, we're going to let them go, we're going to move on. What we're trying to do is we're trying to raise our vibration. We're trying to step into, that 5D energy, that energy of love and acceptance and awareness, and connecting with source and connecting with our intuition. But through this all, stay humble. I've met too many people that are full of ego, and I did do a post about ego and about, people that function out of ego, people that get up there for attention, people that just want to, surround themselves with people who are like, hey, you're the best, you're this, you're the bomb, whatever, in their DMs with 500 women, or, checking in on people because they think they're going to, fix something for everybody. When you come out of that ego, when you have that ego death, you realize that, it's not your place to fix everybody. It's not your place to, if you are a messenger, if you are somebody that's a light worker that's out there to spread good energy, then do that. But, don't think that just because, hey, I threw this energy out in the world, so send me money. Nah, that's not going to work. Now, we had a whole conversation about why I charge for readings, but I also give a lot of myself for free. So there's a balance. There always has to be a balance, a give and take. And when the universe blesses you with something, you always have to bless others. You pay it forward. And that's kind of what I do with my energy reports and my readings, my posts, my channelings. But if you want my one-on-one attention, that is something that I feel that I can charge for. Okay, so again, the theme of this week is about change, it's about release. We need to release things in order to accept change. When we change, we grow, and we move forward, right? We're all here to level up. We're all here to become our authentic selves, which brings up the topic of authenticity. When you live in authenticity, you can speak the truth, right? Communication is easy because you don't have to worry about who you're lying to, what that lie is that you're telling somebody. I was with someone who was a master liar and manipulator and player, and the person before that was a chameleon, a manipulator, a narcissist. So I kind of know what I'm talking about here. And when you live in your authenticity and you speak your truth, you don't have to worry about what you tell people because you're always telling the truth. And this master manipulator, this person that lived on lies, always said, I'm too lazy to lie. I don't want to have to remember what I told this person and told that person. I'll tell you that I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. And he was very uncomfortable when he lied because it showed. But living in your authenticity allows for open communication. And part of that authenticity is knowing who you want to converse with. Who do you want to communicate with? Some people don't deserve your time or your energy. And that's all up to you. And that's claiming your power and making choices based on how you feel in that energy at that time. So protect your energy. Stay authentic. Don't lie, right? Tell the truth. If the truth burns, then you got a problem. Okay, so what needs to change in your inner world for your outer world to reflect what you deeply desire? So let's find out. What needs to change in your inner world? What does Spirit want you to know needs to change in your inner world in order for your outer world to reflect your deepest desires? All right, we have remembrance. The remembrance card is about resurfacing of past feelings and emotions. So I did say the supermoon did bring up a lot of insecurities, a lot of old wounds, a lot of just looking back on things. And that's what retrogrades do. Retrogrades give us a moment of cosmic reflection. Sometimes it slows down and goes backwards for us to kind of look in that rearview mirror and be like, what have I learned about this? How am I moving forward? How am I growing? And you see the growth by looking how far you've come, right? So a lot of stuff coming up this week that are resurfacing past feelings. And like I said, the things that come up, we need to witness it. We need to accept it. Do not be embarrassed or do not be thrown off by, in the past I acted like a jerk, or in the past, what was I thinking? I shared my energy with people without thought. I wanted to feed my ego for attention, so I did these bad things. You can always change that. You can always move forward. And I apologize for the dog barking. I know people are sensitive to that. Shut up! But here we are. So we are processing these things. We're accepting these things. Just know that all the things that you went through up until this point in your journey were meant to shape who you are today. The lessons that you learned through doing all those things in your past should change who you are going forward. We should never try to fall back into those old patterns. And this is why they come up, because we need to release them. Every day is a new day to start fresh, right? So this is what we're kind of gearing up towards. Let's get some more about this. What are these past feelings and emotions that are coming up? What are they pertaining to? Okay. Wowzers. Okay. Four of Swords. So this is about self-preservation, right? Protection. Now, be careful, because sometimes self-preservation comes from a place of woundedness. It's not self-preservation like I'm preserving or I'm keeping my energy sacred. It's self-preservation and like, you know what, I've been screwed before, so I'm not going to get screwed again. So you have to be able to determine the place that this self-preservation is coming from. If it's coming from a place of woundedness, you need to heal that. If it's coming from a place of I'm going to hold my energy sacred, then that's fine. That's a boundary. That's where you need to kind of move forward from. But we're also getting this rest and rejuvenation. So this week coming up, with the changes coming up and the releasing coming up, we do have to be very mindful of our energy and when we need to rest and when we need to kind of take care of ourselves, that self-care. We have the Three of Pentacles here. So the Three of Pentacles is about learning a skill. This is self-mastery. So again, we have to kind of pull apart our pieces in order to align them better. So it's almost like having a piece of a puzzle and, kind of trying to see which way it fits best, right? Sometimes we can mash that puzzle piece in there and make it fit, but does it really belong there? So I do feel that some of these pieces that maybe we've tried to piece together about ourselves and a way of thinking and, how we interact with our outside world need to be reconfigured. And this is why things are coming up. And this is all about learning a skill. This is about learning about ourselves, that self-mastery that we need to accomplish in order to reach our authenticity, our authentic self. Three of Cups. Okay, so this is about community, about celebrating friendships, but I think in this case, this could be about looking where third-party energies are affecting your life. Are you holding on to toxic relationships that are kind of tearing at other meaningful relationships that you had? Are you placing too much emphasis on people that don't feed you, that don't nourish you, but holding on to these toxic relationships are keeping other very meaningful relationships away? Because maybe there's a boundary that they're like, well, I'm not going near you if you're going to deal with those people. Sometimes in friend groups and in different things, hey, if you bring Susan along, I'm not coming because I don't want to be around that person. Or if you're going to hang out with this person and do those things, I don't want to be a part of that. So looking at those relationships, are you holding on to toxic relationships at a detriment to your other relationships that can actually feed you and nourish you and bring you something? So a lot of things coming up about how we interact with our outside world, who we're interacting with, who are we sharing our energy with, that needs to be fixed. We have the Four of Pentacles. This is about a guardedness, right? This is about keeping things close to your chest, about wanting to control things. Sometimes we have to give up control. We can't always control an outcome. We can't control how things come in. We can't control the universe. We have to kind of go with the flow, right? So the pain and the heartache, I've seen it on many of my posts. It's like people are upset. People are like, you know what, this person in my life, especially like in the Twin Flame community, learning about losing control, letting go, surrendering. You can't control what a person does. You can't control another person's healing. You just have to hold space and give them space and time to figure the shit out. You can't force an outcome. You can't force things to happen just because you want it and you want it now. So learning about that and giving up the guardedness where you need to. Now this also could be past feelings and emotions coming up. Is your heart kind of guarded because of past heartbreaks, of past things in your life that didn't work out? And really looking at things, old relationships, which is kind of like where I've kind of been in that loop, and where you went wrong and how things, why didn't I see those red flags? Why didn't I, do this? Do I attract these people because of something that I do? Or, am I internalizing too much of it? And, sometimes we build the walls up around our hearts so high that we can't hear when love comes knocking. So we are meant to love. We are lovable. We are meant to have these meaningful connections. So sometimes you do have to take those walls down in order to see what's coming, for you, what's meant for you, okay? We have the King of Pentacles. He was in reverse. So this is about watching your materialistic, being wasteful, watching your grip on the material things in life. Not everything is about money. Not everything is about status. When you can release your grip or release the grip that money and status and all of that has on your world, and choose your own sanity, your own space, things flow a little better. We create a lot of stress for ourselves, and that we have to make that $1 million. We have to be in that high paid, penthouse position. We want to be CEO. We want to be, whomever. And that creates stress in our life. And is it really worth it in the long run? Maybe you made $200,000 this year, but what did you do the rest of the time? Did you really live your life this year? How many opportunities to live and love and be happy did you miss because you were so hyper-focused on your material world? This is why a lot of, very powerful people kind of give it all up and go live on a desert island somewhere. The fact that they own the island is one thing, but it's that same concept. We can't be ruled by things outside of ourselves, right? We interact with things outside of ourselves, but they should not rule who we are internally, if that makes sense. We do have the Tower coming up, so this is about upheaval, about unstable foundations falling apart, right? So this is part of the stuff that's resurfacing. So what in your physical world is not created to withstand the pressure of the things that you want to bring into your life? If you don't have a stable foundation and you're trying to bring in love and you're trying to bring in long-term success, can you build it on the foundation you're on right now? Sometimes it doesn't hold the pressure, so it crumbles. And we have to learn to see the why things aren't working out. Why are things crumbling? Why are things falling apart? Instead of sitting in the middle of the mess going, why does all this shit happen to me? It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's clearing the way for you to build something better. And whatever the universe takes, whatever is lost in the collateral damage of that Tower moment will always be returned in better shape than it was before. So hold on to that. We have the Six of Pentacles here too. So this is about an even give and take. Like I said, this is about balance. This is about being able to find the balance in everything in your life, right? Balance your spirituality and your practicality, balance your work and your home, maintaining a healthy balance within yourself. And whatever, like I said before, whatever you're gifted, whatever the universe brings to you, you want to make sure you pay it forward and give it back in some way, shape, or form. So that's our first message for this week. What did we need to know? All right, what needs to change in your inner world so that your outer world reflects your desires? What needs to change? What are we healing, right, in order to make that change? All right, so I have positive-minded people and I have guardian. So the first thing here that comes up is this Guardian card, and this is about following your inner guidance, right? We talked about, like I said before, the discernment, tapping into your intuition, strengthening your connection through your crown to source and your belief systems is important, okay? So the past full moon, the supermoon, was about activating your upper chakras, right? I posted a meditation that helped move the energy between your crown, your third eye, your throat, and your heart. They're all attached, right? So your crown is your connection to source. Your crown is where your guidance comes in. Your crown is where, kind of like the beacon that God uses to check in on you, right? Strengthening that connection to source helps your divine guidance come through more clear. It helps you to know where you're supposed to be and when you're supposed to go. and quieting your mind enough to be able to hear that inner GPS and the, things pulling you in the right direction is very important. So it's very important this week, while we do release and while we do accept change and open ourselves up to change, that we open up our mind to our guidance. Stop ignoring the red flags. Stop ignoring, that gut feeling that maybe I shouldn't go, or maybe I shouldn't talk to this person, or, I don't know, something doesn't seem right about this, lisaanntarot that messaged me in my DMs and wants to do a reading. Like, she can't speak English. What's wrong with her? Is she having a stroke? So time to really practice discernment. So there is a trick with your body, right? Your body is a barometer. Your body is a lie detector. So if you can tune in enough to your body and you can ask it a question, if it resonates in your heart space up here, if you feel it in your heart, if you feel it up here, when you ask yourself, is this person lying to me? Or is this person telling the truth? Then it's for you. If someone is talking to you and what they're saying is kind of resonating in your lower belly, or you're starting to feel nauseous, or you're starting to feel sick, or whenever I go on this person's live, I feel gross, or whatever, that's your body telling you, like, maybe you shouldn't be there. There is another trick. It's, and I don't know if I posted a video about it, but it's muscle memory, muscle testing. So you can ask a question, is my name Lisa Ann? And if you could pull it apart, the answer is yes. Is my name Suzanne? Then you shouldn't be able to pull it apart. You shouldn't have to walk around going like this all day, because you should feel it in your body. But following your guidance, following that discernment, following, that how things resonate is very important. And then the positive-minded people, this is your soul tribe. These are your people that are your cheerleading squad. No matter what you do, they try to pick you up. And the source, the divine will always, always, always bring those like-minded people to you. You just have to maintain your energy so that you vibrate along the same lines as them. Friendships come and go, right? People, sometimes it's very difficult to maintain a friendship with someone who is on a whole different level. But you still hold them in your heart, right? You still miss them. It's just that they're not in the right place, not on the right vibration as you are at the time. People vibrate in and out of each other's lives all the time. And if they're meant to be around you, if they are like-minded, if they do vibrate on your same level, maybe they will come into your orbit again. That doesn't mean when people kind of float off, right, from you or fall away from you, that there's something wrong with them or something wrong with you. It's just that they weren't on the same page. They weren't in the same orbit as you. And we create the pain, and we create the heartbreak, and we create the bad, what's the word? We create the bitterness out of the woundedness. Maybe that abandonment wound needs to be healed. Maybe, there was a mother wound, that needs to have people close to them. Or people, agree with them all the time, or people, hold them up, or whatever. Some people have healing to do. So you always will be surrounded with like-minded people that are pulled into who you are and what you have to offer. You just need to kind of see who you're vibrating around. Who doesn't match your energy, if you will. So what else do we need to know about this guidance, right? This guardian. so first card out, we have the Chariot. So this is about forward movement, right? In order for the Chariot to move forward, we need balance. So like I said in the last reading, it was kind of like we have to have that give and take with the universe, right? We have to find balance within ourselves. When we are balanced and we are at peace, we are vibrating on a very high level. That's when, we can hear the guidance. That's when we can bring in people. So maintaining that inner balance is going to be very important. We have the Seven of Wands. So again, this is about protection, maintaining control, maintaining control of yourself, maintaining control of your emotions, of your healing, of the things you need to do on a daily basis. This is really, everything needs to be turned within, right, at this time. We cannot control what's outside of us. We cannot control, anything, people's responses, what other people do. The only thing we can control is who we are and how we respond to certain things. So the Seven of Wands is about that inner control, that self-control, not controlling other people. We have the Star here, so this is about divine intervention, right? This is about healing, but it's reminding us to continue to have hope and faith in the things that we're trying to manifest. Even if they don't manifest in our time, they are manifesting in the right time. So there is divine intervention here. We have the Ace of Wands, so this is about desire and passion and inspiration, new beginnings, a passionate new beginning, things coming around. Again, the Six of Pentacles, the balance, right? Being generous, opening up that connection with Source and doing as Source guides us to do. Five of Pentacles, right? So this is a lack mentality that we need to get out of. Isolating ourselves is not a good idea, right? If we want to attract positive-minded people, we can't be isolated. So we need to get out of that lack mentality. We need to stop focusing on the things we don't have and being grateful for the things that we do. Because there are blessings here, right? There are things coming for us. The divine, the universe, has blessings and gifts that it wants to bring to us. We have to be open to receiving them. And if we're in the dumps, if we're hiding our head, if we're looking down, we won't be able to see them coming because we're not looking up. So when you start to lose faith, when you start to lose hope, don't look down, look up. Because that's where, your vision should be. That's where your blessings come. And then we have the Knight of Cups here. So this is, following your heart, following what your soul, your soul song, where is your soul pulling you? You have to be quiet enough in your heart and in your mind in order to hear that song, in order to figure out which direction you need to go in. There are never wrong choices in life. You can make choice A or choice B, and neither one of them are wrong. They're just going to take you on a different path. But all paths lead to the same destiny. Some may take you on a longer route than the other. Some may take you into some harder lessons than the other one. You may need to learn by this choice or, reap some sort of karma or some sort of consequence from this choice where you wouldn't if you made this choice. But there's never any wrong choices. Don't be afraid to make a choice. Don't be afraid to take a step. Because there is nothing that you can do wrong in lifetime, right? It just matters. What's going to happen is that you're going to have different lessons, or you're going to take a different pathway, and you're going to eventually end up in the same place. It just might take a little longer or be a little harder than it would if you made other choices. So, it's called divine will. But I do feel that, following your heart in these changes, opening up to your guidance, will never steer you in the wrong direction. So that's the second message. And I think we'll do one more general message to send you off with for this week. What do you need to know? Okay. Message from the universe. What do you need to know? Elevate your energy. Your thoughts are vibrations that attract positive or negative energy. Notice your current emotional state. Clear any negativity through conversation, movement, breath work, prayer, meditation, and so on. Then guide your thoughts back to love and abundant possibilities. When you elevate your energy, you attract abundance, health, and prosperity into your life. Positive affirmations. Keeping your vibration high. When you feel like you're kind of low vibing, when you're just like, I feel like meh, put on some music. Move your body. Movement helps. Block out any of those, stuck chakras. Journal. Why am I feeling this way? What is it? What is so heavy on my heart right now that I can't be happy? Write it down. Witness it. Acknowledge it. And then you figure out, where that's coming from. Is that a wound that needs to be healed? Is that something that I need to practice? Is there something I need to change about the way I think about something? That's the way we kind of handle the healing that comes up. And I have a lot of clients where, I remind them, you need to heal that. That's a you problem, not a them problem. That's something you need to heal. You need to work on that. And again, lessons are cyclical. So even if you feel you've learned a lesson, it's going to come back around. It's going to come back around to see if you're going to fall back into your old ways or if you truly learned something from it and you're going to try something new this time. Or, it'll come back around and say, okay, is she going to recognize that this is the same thing happening again? And if you have a repeating pattern in your life, bad relationships, can't hold on to a job, whatever, addiction, whatever, those are things that you really truly need to focus on to heal in order for them to finally be taken care of. And you level up to the next level where those things can't touch you, right? And we also say we go higher. So raising your vibration takes you out of the muck. It takes you away from low vibrational people. So anything they try to do to deter your path, to, unfocus you, to, whatever, can't touch you because you're too high for them to reach. So raise your vibration this week. Release, 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 and allow change. Open up to change. Change one little thing a day, one way you think about the day, and see how that changes your whole outlook on something. So that is my energy report for this week, and I am sending you out so much love for the week. And if you're not following my YouTube channel, make sure you are following it, because I will be posting these reports, I hope, on a regular basis. So thanks for watching, and have a great week.